alla pompol isalla jiol tenteng ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo holo fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solution ya nati alele 10-inch filter set of 3 ya sotalele filter mi yalo ko acid yota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12-inch set of 3 filter mi yalo ko acid yota aya dada aya senendi mense beta alla jata kendato fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalo ko acid chemical bonnino jiol konole mense bete alla jata kendeya filter mum boko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical be bondi akono pour kala jata kendeya sahen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansundo ku na wata tankol fanan sotali kabrim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fanan be mol bulle alsimol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala ismol kubandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko.
Hello there, good morning, and you're watching QTV this morning. I am your host, Jenna Bosonko, joined by my amazing co-host, Ibrahim Abalde. It has been a long break. It's so good to be back here.
Absolutely. We miss you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see you here. It's good that you are back again. Yeah. And we are happy to have you.
Yes, I'm happy to be here too after a long break. I know eventually we'll get to finalize the COP26, the Glasgow Climate Pact. We're yet to discuss it here to just see if really it was worth gathering people from across the world to discuss climate-related issues. And to be honest, it has been a really great experience for the first time QTV having the opportunity to give our viewers up-to-date information in relation to what is happening at COP26. Looking forward to COP27 in Egypt, and then accountability measures will continue eventually. And we are joined by our colleague, Ade Derami.
I've been doing the newspaper review, but just very, very quickly to pick up on what you just said about COP26. In case people want to check, the Guardian newspaper in England has been running a series of stories about Gambia and about the effect of climate change. Some of them are quite scary stories. And also there's one about St. Louis in Senegal. It is the most endangered place in the whole of Africa. It is in danger of sinking in the next 5 to 10 years completely. So that's quite scary. But
and I think the sad part has to do with the fact that these countries do not even contribute to the consequences that they're facing already.
That's right.
I think that is the sad part of the whole climate scenario.
That's the worst of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
So so as usual, we just give you a rundown of some of the things that we have for you today. As usual, we have the African proverb, we have the newspaper review already. Our guest is here, Ade Drami, will help us analyze some of the stories that we have on the papers. We will be taking a look at World Day of Remembrance of Road Traffic Accident Victims. Just before we started this program, I was having a conversation with Ade Drami, asking him if Gambia is still ranked 4th. And he said, we might be ranked 1st next year. That's what he said. So looking forward to the 2021 or 2022 ranking, just to see where we'll be placed, because
I'm worried.
I'm worried as well. I'm really worried. So moving on, we'll also be taking a look at the election app, the Marble election app and election observation in general. If you can remember, in 2018, Gambia Participates launched an election app to give citizens timely information and just to bring about some sort of accountability when it comes to election results. So we'll be joined by Mar Nyang to talk to us about the developments. It has been used in the local government elections in 2018. What has changed? What has been added to the app to actually benefit Gambians there in relation to the December 4th presidential elections? And we also have Click. We'll be joined by Skengman Sweezy to take us through what is happening in the world of entertainment. And don't forget that our sponsors are One Stop Water Solution for all your water filters, for all your tanks, for all your dispensers.
Exactly,
people like me, I mean, I should be
oh
thinking.
yeah, definitely. You should.
I can't. I mean, what do you expect?
You should visit them.
I should get one of their dispensers right now, okay? Don't quote me. That's just a joke. So what is our African proverb?
Well, the African proverb is, when the monkey cannot reach the banana, he says they are not sweet.
Ooh,
well,
this is very common.
Yes, I mean, it's a straightforward proverb.
Yes.
It is very straightforward. But let's engage.
Yeah, have you ever experienced this whereby you and a particular individual are racing to achieve something, and the person said, I don't want it anymore, you know.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
In England, they would refer to it as the sour grapes syndrome, where when you can't get the grapes, you said, I don't want them, they're sour anyway, which kind of disguises the fact that, you know, you weren't good enough or, you know, clever enough to get it. And it's exactly the same thing. So there are many instances where, you know, I've gone for a job or a position and sometimes in an organization, and, you know, you get it and the other person doesn't get it. Say, well, actually, I didn't get the job, but I didn't want it anyway. They're lying, you know. They really wanted it, but they think, and they don't fool anybody by that. And that monkey is not fooling anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
They might be, they don't have the qualification of getting it.
They don't want to admit that.
And sometimes you can't push to also get it. I think we've all been, this is something that happens on a daily basis. It's just some sort of human psychology. Sometimes it happens. It's not like the individual is jealous, but it just happens.
Yeah, sometimes people say that to console themselves.
You know, just for them to be at ease, to feel like, hey, I was walking towards this.
But while deep inside, you know, it is not the case.
It's not the case. I've been through this as well a lot of times. Even in school, kids use this to actually bully each other. You know, I didn't even want this. Or even on the job, sometimes everyone is looking for a specific prize, and at the end of the day, there will be a group of people who say, I did not even want this. You know, I was just giving it a try.
You tend to make that thing look so crazy that people hate it. I mean,
exactly. And if you are an individual who is walking towards that and have the capability of achieving that, and you allow yourself to be deceived by the next person who says they do not want it, then you are the fool.
You know, I wish you hadn't used that analogy, because there was a time when in a particular school I was meant to win the English prize, and it was the only one that I thought I was in with a chance of winning. And there were twin brothers who were in my class, and they won every other prize. And because I came top in English, of course, I assumed I would get it. And then when they published who was going to get it, they decided that it would be nice if one of these guys who'd already won everything would get it. Now, I could have said, oh, well, I didn't want it anyway, but I didn't do that. I blasted the authorities. I said, this is a disgrace. Normally, it would go to whoever came top.
Sure.
I didn't get it. I could have said, oh, well, I didn't want it anyway, but I didn't pretend. So, you know, I didn't say, oh, well.
And, you know, well, I think it is very important that you did that and you came out honest to say you wanted it, because sometimes people deserve certain things. They are denied, and they act like they don't want it. I don't do that. I want it. I want it. You know, you have to be all out to say you want it. And as much as in our culture, you can't go out to claim certain things. The moment you do that, they'll be like, oh, she's too greedy. But at the end of the day, these are things that you deserve. You're supposed to get it, so claim it.
Yeah, well, sometimes people, the way society portrays you, most people tend to think, I mean, what will people think, what will people say?
Exactly.
That's the reason why most people don't go in for what they want. I mean, so it's a problem. Very important proverb here, Jenna.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So moving on, we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. Do stay tuned.
For the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad, well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. I am your host, Jena Bosonko, joined by my co-host, Ibrahim Abalde, and our guest for the newspaper review is Ade Derami. So that's the point?
Yes, the point newspaper. Let's take a look at some of the headlines of the point newspaper. Boy 14 reported dead during thin wrestling. And of course, Gambia diplomat in Russia passed away. Yeah, I mean, I think these are the stories that will be delivered. What do you have?
Only two headlines?
Okay, so moving on Foria, we have Central Bank Governor forecasts economic growth at about 6% in 2022. And IEC says CA, GMC not legally authorized to run for December election. And also Gambian consultant calls for change in country's education system. And 44% of respondents hint NPP coalition likely to win election. And PDOIS can win 2021 elections. I'm afraid that is all we have on Forea. So PDOIS can win in 2021 election. What is your analysis of this? Do you think PDOIS will be able to win the 2021 December 4th presidential elections with what you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, in spite of what people might say, if you sort of went online, all the parties are out campaigning. And, you know, most of them are drawing big crowds wherever you look. Certainly you look on online media, you'll see they've got a lot of support. And any party this close to an election has to say that we think we're going to win. Whether that's true or not, I think it's open. But what I always caution people is that if you belong to a particular party and you go and ask somebody, are you going to vote for us? Always be very circumspect if they say yes, because you might find that they've said yes to all 6 candidates, exactly. And there are 6 candidates. So one has to be conscious of that. Don't take those sorts of responses at face value. You know, be very, very circumspect when people tell you that.
Ms. Ade, don't you think this is just a form of saying, I mean, we are going to win the elections? We've seen parties here saying they'll win the election, and we all know they won't win the election.
Yes, but, you know, what you want is you want to make your supporters and your party members feel that you have a chance. Yeah. All of you have to say that, and that really is the point. It's no use a party saying we have no chance of winning. I think every party has to say what Halifa Sallah is saying there, that, you know, we have a chance of winning, and I suspect they genuinely believe that. I've spoken to people who belong to the various parties, and I'm amazed at how confident all of them are. But of course, all of them can't be right. But they're all very confident. They're not just saying it. They actually believe it, that they can win. So, yeah.
Halifa is saying that after this presidential elections, if he doesn't win, then this is the end of the road for him. I can remember multiple times we talked about the fact that accountability should actually start with these oppositions, whereby we do not have one particular leader in the opposition running multiple times, because it needs to start from there. We're talking about time limit, so to exercise time limit, then it has to start with them. So maybe is he leading the way when it comes to political party opposition, saying this is the end, let's just allow someone else to take up from here?
Yeah, I think he's already said this will also be his last tilt at being, you know, going for the presidency. But if you look at, not just in the Gambia, but particularly in the Gambia, all the ones, okay, apart from the independents, you look at all the political parties, they're all very, very closely identified with an individual.
Exactly.
Whether it's the NPP, PDOIS, or so, they're all identified very strongly with an individual. And so, you know, people kind of conflate the two, you know, the party, where does the party end and an individual start? It's a problem in Africa. If you go to Britain and you look at the Labour Party or the Conservative Party, yes, Boris Johnson might be the Prime Minister now, but it doesn't mean that people necessarily identify the party with him. But in Africa, and certainly in the Gambia, people identify a party. You say the words PDOIS, people straight away think Halifa Sallah. You say NPP, people straight away think Adama Barrow. So, you know, that's, you know, the situation we find ourselves in.
Yes, in the Gambia, mostly, people are, not only in the Gambia, people are associated with a particular party. When you call the name of the party, the mental picture you have. But let's talk about Halifa Salah's belief. I mean, we all know Halifa is well educated. We all know Halifa is a very strong man, and I mean, he will be a very good president. We all know that. But people don't believe in him from the look of things. I mean, because they said what he believes in, you know, it's like an old way of moving the country if he is elected president.
I'm not sure Halifa or his supporters would agree with you, because, you know, he's been talking about system change. That's been the kind of buzz phrase that he's been using, and he's saying that we need to do things better and differently. And there are many people who will subscribe to that way of thinking. And you know, so yeah, I don't think you could sort of necessarily write him off. What probably will count against is the fact that he has tried so many times before and not been able to convince the Gambian public that he is the man to do it. And that might be the case, but who knows? It might be the case that this time he is able to convince enough people to vote for him that, yes, he's talked about system change, let us, you know, vote for him. And so, yeah, well, I think everybody, you know, I don't think you can write off anybody at this stage.
Yeah,
at all.
At the end of the day. So, and at the end of the day, they all have their supporters, and they have individuals that have already convinced, and they are moving by, you know, the agenda that these different political parties have at the end of the day.
Yeah, and just very quickly in closing on that one, for anybody to become president, you have to convince people who belong to other political parties to vote for you rather than the party that they would normally vote for.
Exactly.
And if that happens, then you're going to be the president, because, you know, you've got 6 people running. You know, you've got independents, you've got party leaders, and if everybody votes along party lines, it's going to be the vote is going to be stretched.
Can we call election a game? Sort of a game. I mean,
it's a type of a game.
Snatching people from that other party.
Yes, because, you know, as human beings, we're entitled to change our minds. If we think that, you know, what I want in life, someone else can deliver for me, why shouldn't I? You know, because if everybody only ever voted for the same people all the time, then you end up with a one-party state. But people can change their minds and switch votes because they've been convinced by an argument or they've been persuaded by what somebody is saying. So that's always, I'm good. For me, it's good, it's refreshing that we've got 6 candidates. It would have been a nightmare if the 23 people who applied for ballot papers all got...
Announcing all those results.
Yeah.
Never mind announcing the results.
Yeah.
You'd need 23 drums.
Yeah.
For people to drop their marbles into, and some of the polling booths aren't big enough to take 23 drums. So, you know, thank God we've only got 6.
Yeah.
Possibly 7 because or 8.
So talking about that, IEC says CA and GMC not legally authorized to run for December elections. So it seems their chances of running for the December election is quite slim.
They can run until such time as the IEC lodges an appeal and wins it, because they've won a court case which says they're entitled to run, and so they can run. The IEC can say what they want. The law is the law. You know, Judge Amina Saosise said, you guys can contest, and they can contest. You know, Dr. Sise started his campaign yesterday.
Sunday, yeah.
So yes, they can run until, but if IEC overturns it, then fine. You know, I wish them luck trying to overturn it.
At the end of the day,
because, you know, the law is quite clear.
I know.
They can run.
Probably this is something that you discussed already. You know, the independence of the judiciary. You know,
yes.
I know you discussed this on that day that this happened, because obviously no one saw this coming.
No.
That at the end of the day, the IEC would make this decision, and maybe there's something fishy and needs to be adjusted at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not that there's something fishy. Again, you know, I keep using this phrase. We can all make mistakes. We're all human beings after all.
Major mistakes as
well,
such.
it's a major one, and that's the thing, because essentially you've denied somebody the chance to campaign whilst all the others have been campaigning. And there's nothing that can recompense for that. Not money, not anything. They've lost out on campaigning. You know, so even if they get to run, they've been severely disadvantaged. So, you know, I'm not sure, you know, and as Dr. Sise said, it's not just about me, it's not just about this election, it's about everybody else who is disqualified in this manner and for these reasons. That's why I'm fighting. So, you know, I don't want to prejudge the case, but I will by saying I would be surprised if the IEC won the appeal. I would be shocked if they won the appeal.
Anyway, let's just see what the IEC wants to put forward to actually say they did the right thing. But like we mentioned, this is a major mistake at the end of the day.
I'd love to see the response.
Case. So yes, Ibrahima, what do you have there?
Boy 14 reported dead during thin rustling.
Okay.
Well,
one of these unfortunate accidents that can happen, you know, it just shows you how fragile life is. Nobody is promised tomorrow. It seemed that this was fairly innocent pastime that was being indulged in, and a young boy has ended up losing his life, and you know, our condolences to the family. I'm not sure there's much one can say about that.
Well, I think most of these sports we do, some of them are very dangerous, and the thing is they are not controlled, you know. Sometimes it's important for you to put certain measures, I mean, especially telling kids not to try this at home, you know. So it's a problem.
It's a problem, and it's a difficult one, because every time I hear that sort of argument put forward, I will say this: across Africa, how many kids on that same day were taking part in wrestling? Tens, if not hundreds of thousands. How many died? Probably only the one. So because one person died, it's sad, it's tragic, but it doesn't mean that the whole thing is fraught with needs to be changed.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so moving on, central bank governor forecasts economic growth at about 6% in 2022. Is that looking good?
It's looking good, and I know not everybody watches QTV News, but they should, because Choi went to that meeting where the central bank governor, amongst other things, you know, he forecast growth. He talked about the country's debt and so on. Also talked very encouragingly about the remittance figures that are coming from Gambians and so on. The forecast is not just his, it's a kind of similar forecast by IMF and the World Bank. They think there will be growth, but there's a big caveat, there's a big what if, and that is what if there's another wave of COVID that affects particularly the countries where people come as tourists to the Gambia, and if that stops them coming, then that could have another impact. At the moment unforeseen and possibly unplanned for, because when the governor was making those statements, he was kind of thinking on the kind of the optimistic side. But it's like we're talking about the death, nobody knows tomorrow. You know, if the year before, nobody predicted the impact that COVID would have, because we didn't know it was coming. Yeah, we did. And so we're in very uncertain times. But he has to be optimistic. He's being optimistic, and as I said, he mentioned other things. And people want, they can watch Choi's report from Friday or Saturday.
And you talked about COVID-19, and recently we see social media campaigns in relation to COVID-19 being pegged to Africa in a way, you know, with the South Africa's variant, they call it, in as much as it has been discovered there, you know. You
know, that's the annoying thing. If they had discovered it in the UK first, they would not say it's the UK's variant. Just as somebody had posted, which has gone viral, no pun intended. South Africa has very sophisticated science system, and it's because of that they were able to detect it. It doesn't mean it started there.
Exactly.
They were ahead of the curve in identifying it. That's all it is. But you know, people do this for Africa. They like to sort of apportion negative things to the continent, and so, you know, for them to start calling it the South African variant, when if it had been discovered in America, in China, Hong Kong, or Japan, or Korea, they probably wouldn't have called it that. They would just say it's been identified here first. It's very unfortunate, and we need to get out of that.
Yeah, they call it Afrophobic.
Well, yes, and the West needs to get away from that mentality. It's going to be difficult for them because they're so used to doing that. That I don't think it's going to be easy for them, but we need to really call them out and criticize them for it every time it happens, including this time.
So considering the fact that the central bank governor forecasts economic growth at about 6%, you talked about death a little bit, you know, countries and their debt financing and all of that. So recently I've seen that in Uganda, this is not confirmed, you know, but I saw it from a reliable news outlet, but it's not confirmed. They lost one of their stadiums or something to China, to airport. Is it a stadium or an airport to China because of, you know, issues
because
as such?
Of debt?
Yes.
I mean, look, you know, I've been one who, I've always been very critical of African governments and the deals we make with everybody. Not just with China, but you know, China's just like one of the latest. You could go back years to debt arrangements that we had with. I mean, that one, it's a bit you know, sort of complicated because, you know, and also in Kenya, you know, where there was a kind of electricity plant where you know, the deal was that if the government couldn't pay, they would forfeit it to China. So African governments tend to make very, very bad deals in these things, all of them. Sad to say.
Sometimes it can have an advantage, but most of the time the disadvantage is severe.
Yeah, I think sometimes they just look at the short-term gain. They don't look at, and the thing is, when you're doing that kind of thing, you should also look at the good, but also look at the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And you look at yourself and say, what if we can't pay this debt? I mean, for example, Sierra Leone, the president is trying to sign a deal with China to build a bridge that's going to cost $2.5 to $3 billion, Lunge to Freetown Bridge from the airport. You know. Look, Sierra Leone will never be able to pay that in 100 years. Yeah. So I don't even know why he's about to sign that deal. But he thinks it's a good deal. And for me, it's rubbish, because it will cut your travel time from 35 minutes to 15 minutes. Big deal. You know, if I go to London and I go to Gatwick or Heathrow, I still have another 30 or 40 minutes before I get into the center of London. You know, nobody's talking about building a bridge from Heathrow to Gatwick right into the center of London, you know. So, you know, they've been obsessed with it, you know, successive governments. But that is going to saddle them with a debt that they cannot pay.
But I can remember some time ago you also talked about infrastructure development, that you're a big fan.
I don't think that's infrastructure development,
okay,
with all due respect.
What do you think that is?
You know, that's it. For me, that's like a kind of what's the word? It's a white elephant. It's not crucial to the life of the nation. You know, if they built better roads, because there is a road journey that you can take from Lunge into Freetown. It's longer. Well, hey, you'll get to see more of the country. It's not a big deal. I mean, somebody who's been flying for 5 or 6 hours, to say, okay, we're going to cut your travel time by 15 minutes, and it's going to cost us $3 billion. It's rubbish. I mean, I'm sorry. For me, that's not infrastructure. It's a vanity project.
All right, a vanity project.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the newspaper review.
Thank you.
It's always good to have you here.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, so moving on, we will head right on to social issues. Community Watch will obviously come later, where we'll be talking about road traffic accident victims. Now we'll be talking about the Marble app, as well as election observation in general. We'll be joined by Mar Nyang, founder and executive director, Gambia Participates. We'll be right back.
You've got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings you in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Like non-stop coverage. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power, and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power, and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. I'm your host, Jenna Basonko, joined by my amazing co-host, Ibrahim Balde. So moving on, we're joined by Mar Nyang, the founder and executive director, Gambia Participates, to talk about the Marble app. Just like I mentioned, this app was introduced in 2018 during the local government and parliamentary elections. I can remember having a conversation with you that very day that that particular app started. So hopefully then we will get to understand how the app has transitioned gradually to now the December 4th presidential elections, as you had 5 good years to actually improve it and add things, right? So what has changed?
A lot of things have changed, Jay, and thank you very much. And also thank you for being consistent. Yes, she was the first person to interview me on that particular app in 2018 during the local government election. So then the app was just having a little bit of data in terms of presidential election or elections in general. So since then as well, we had some issues because the Google actually took it down because they had a new policy that if your app is associated with the government or has any information related to the government, they are not going to accept it. So we took that opportunity to work on the app, develop it, and then add more ingredients on the app, and then get all the required documentation and put it up. When we put it up now, it was only on Google. Now it has been published on Apple Store and then that of the Google Play Store.
Okay.
So let me tell you some of the interesting features that we have. So first, then we were given live election result, but it was just in the form of a chart, right? So what we have added now is the map of the Gambia, and the results. Let's say, for example, Jay is leading in Banjul. You will see the Banjul map will change into the color of Jay's party. The same thing with the CR and all the regions. So while you're using the app, you will get to see who is leading in a particular region. So the color will keep changing until all the final results are, because we are publishing the results from constituency level, and each region has a constituency. Let's say, for example, you are leading in Banjul, and then you are the map changed to your color, and then someone else, from other constituency overtakes you. The color will change to that particular party. So we did that for those that are not educated. Right?
Exactly.
So when they see the color, they will know, oh, this color is leading in Banjul.
Well, you know, at some point, I wanted to ask you how user-friendly is the app, because we have people that went to school and those that didn't go to school.
So that's what we put into consideration. If you look at the voter population, especially most of those in the rural Gambia, they are not as fortunate in terms of education as we are. So what we have also done is even the chat, right? The chat will also be colored per the candidate's party, right? And then the name will be there. So if you are English literate, you will see the text, but if you are non-English literate, you will see the color, right? For both the chart and that of the map. So you have a chart on top, and then I keep telling this, I was having a radio program today in local language, and I explained it this way, that if you see let's say, for example, I just want to use a color that's neutral, a black color, right? That belongs to a particular political party. It will be marked as the longest chart or stick on the app, followed by the other one, the shorter one, until the least shortest one on the app. So you will know from the chart as well that this is leading. So this is for those that are not educated. And then the other thing that we have added on the app is that there is a guide, a video guide. For example, for those who do not know how to vote, if you're a first-time voter, we have it in English, and it's also in the form of animation, a character that shows you how to get inside the the voting booth and then cast your marble.
Okay, so Mar, let's just take you a little bit back before we talk about the successes and all of that. This was launched in 2018. You talked about some of the constraints that has to do with Google bringing it down, because to them it wasn't user-friendly in a way, in terms of their policies, right?
It was not user-friendly, it's about the policy that the app contains government
information. On their side, right?
Yeah.
So what did the app bring about? What is the perception of Gambians after using the app? Because in as much as it has been brought down, some people benefited. I'm sure some people used it. I checked it out, you know, a few times on that day. So I just want to know what the perception of the people were, not what you think about the app, because obviously you build it with your team. You would obviously feel it's good enough, it did well, but I'm sure you did talk to people on the ground just to know how it benefited them. Yeah,
we received a lot of feedbacks and recommendations to improve the app, and most of the recommendations that we have received in terms of how to call it, the user friendliness and putting in more data, and then also tying candidates to a particular political party are things that we have been receiving. So some also raise about a concern about the security of the app and all that.
Okay.
I am not a developer, so but then we have a very, how to call it, reputable software company in the Gambia called Asotech. Yes, and we all know how amazing these monsters are in developing softwares in the country. So we had this conversation a long time ago. We've been having this brainstorming and then bringing in these ideas. That's how we have, received this feedback, and then the ones that we also believe should be added on the app, we improve on it and then bring. Still now, we are not that much satisfied, but there's going to, from here in the next 24 hours, you will also get to see some updates coming. We are trying to make so we simplify the data as simple as possible for one to be able to understand. Then it was a bit complicated, but now we have now been bringing it down, the resource at the constituency level. Then it was just at the regional level. We bring it to the constituency level. We're also putting the parties, the candidate of the political parties and their manifesto, their date of birth, everything that you think you should.
Their biography.
The bios and the like. So we put in that on the app as well.
Amazing.
I understand apps should be very simple for people to use it. Do you have anything that has to do with voice? Because not only, we have people who are disabled. Some of them cannot. So it's important for you to have at least a voice system that will be giving them information.
Yes. So each mobile phone have what they call accessibility, right? If you turn that on, for example, if you want there to be a voiceover to aid you when you are blind and you're using a smartphone, when you turn that on, when you open the app, right, the voiceover will be also giving you those instructions because the voiceover works with all applications that is installed in your mobile phone and that of the settings. So that will be also another thing that those with disabilities can also benefit from. But also, like I said, if you also let's say for example you can't actually see, you're blind, right? The video as well, if you play it on, you can hear. The voice is also on the video that explains you what to do on election day, what to do after election day, what to wear on election day, shall I say, i.e. neutral party color, and then also what to do. Don't ask for anyone who you voted for or who you're going to be voting for. Vote and then leave. All those things are contained in the video.
Okay. So I am so happy that you gave this contract to Asotech, because it's a Gambian company. In a normal circumstance, we would see companies or organizations like yours, get to bring consultants from outside. So I think it's a good thing that you decided to give this to Asotech.
Yes,
I think it's a good one.
We give the devil his due.
Yes, I think it's a good one. So let's talk about how timely this app is. Because, at the end of the day, if it takes a lot of time for somebody to use the app to know what the election results are, then what is the use of the app at the end of the day? So how timely is this going to be? How quick?
Well, it is time, and that's the reason why we actually decided to put it up. In fact, the app was ready, but we were cooking it, and the way we want the soup to be, we did not get it. We don't get that taste until later, because also we are constrained with political parties to give us their manifestos. Till date, there are political parties that refuse to give us their manifestos. They are not putting it on their website, which is also a big challenge, and we want to be fair and neutral as possible, right? We have others that are putting their manifesto on their website, and others are not. So that also has been a concept, but we decided we should just put it out there, and then on their manifesto we just say not available. We do not have access to it. So the timeliness is that when we put this out, the more we put it out, we started getting thousands of downloads, and that shows how interesting this thing is. And then also today I request, I was requested to join a radio program. And that's also because of the demand of the listeners of that particular radio program to talk about the app, how it works in local language. So that the public demand is there. And then also people ask the credibility of the information that is going to be on the app, especially the results. And I actually informed them that we had an agreement with the IEC, an MOU, right? Initially, we are going to put the results before the IEC, because we have about 665 observers that we have deployed all around the country. So they will be collecting results from different polling stations. But later on, we realized that might jeopardize the work of the IEC. We had an agreement. So now we're going to be publishing certified election results from IEC. So that also adds on the credibility of the data, meaning we are not getting a secondary information, but the primary information.
Credible information.
And when it comes to figures and facts, it can change at any time. And then you know, the credibility of the organization might be questioned.
Definitely.
So let's talk about election observation. You said 6,000. How many?
665.
665 people
observers
have been, you know, deployed. So what is going to be the responsibility of these individuals, and what should be the public relationship? Because sometimes elections can be crazy, you know, with violence, people just seeing people and do not know what their role is. So will they be properly identified so people know these people are just there to make sure everything happens the right way?
Oh yeah, so in terms of identity, all of them have their, so let me break it down. We have what we call long-term observers and short-term observers. So long-term observers are observers that observe the pre-election environment and they prepare a report. So if you were following, we are putting reports on the nomination, right, and then recommendation. So this information, we receive it from our long-term observers that are deployed in all the 53 constituencies. So each constituency, we have one constituency supervisor in there. And then in the regions as well, we have 12 regional focal point, even though we have 7, but we have to divide it into our own context. In terms of West Coast, the size of West Coast, we have to divide it into 3. The same thing for CRR, divided to North and South, and also that of the URR. So these people they've been following every single political campaign in their constituency. So wherever they go, they fall within a constituency, and our constituency supervisors are there getting reports. So they've been giving us those reports, and then we prepared our pre-election environment, nomination report on that. And then the second thing is that we have also observed the campaign trail. So by 2nd of December, when the campaign ends, we're also going to give our report based on our observation for that. So that's what the 65 observers are doing. Now the remaining, we have what we call short-term observers. In another sense, they are called stationary observers. So they are going to be deployed in 570 polling stations, 571 polling stations. That's where they're going to be deployed and stationed, meaning they're going to be static there and observe the opening of the polls, the voting of the polls, the closing, and that of the counting. So this is what, and the whole purpose is to add credibility on the electoral process. But most importantly, our system is comprehensive and also systematic, and we are deploying based on proportion. We are looking at which region has more voters, which region has more polling stations. We deploy that number of, how to call it, not exactly, but we deploy that quite a number of observers in that particular region. And the thing is, because we want the data that we present becomes representative. And the sampling is such that if you move from one polling station to another, right? You start from point A, you find our observer, you go to point B, you might not find our observer, but if you go to point 3, you will find our observer. So that sampling is such that when we put it out, the question in the representativeness of the data will not be something that people can be asking.
Exactly. Well, the good thing about this, I can see there are a lot of things involved when it comes to the elections. I mean, sending people to observe, creating this app, it's a good thing.
So just give us an update. You said already there are observers observing the environment currently ahead of the December 4th election. So what are they saying? What are your observers saying? What is happening so far?
I can only talk on the nomination. We are going to get our report for the campaign on the 2nd of December. So for the nomination, there are some key findings that we have identified, and one of those is that you know, at least give credit to whom it is due, right? We've seen that there is a level of organized system by the IEC in terms of scheduling the nomination of each particular candidate, right? 2 hours intervals, but that also comes with some challenges, because we realize that the observers that are deployed, including my observers, they are given a tent that is a bit far from where the nomination is taking place. So that also limits the accessibility of observers to know what type of document the candidate is actually presenting. But overall, we've seen they've shifted from their conference room to getting outside there at the veranda, and then also limiting the number of people that gets in to the IEC secretariat. So the security officers as well, we've observed that there are from about 50 to 100 observers, 50 to 100 security personnel that are within the station, within the IEC, how to call it, should I say, the IEC election house. And they have been, you know, magnificent in the sense that they were able to detect something else that was going to be catastrophic. In a sense, I will give an example. The GDC candidate, when he was going for his nomination, there was an individual with a sharp knife. And then the supporters were shouting that there is an individual with a sharp knife, and they believe it was a potential attack on the GDC candidate. So the police were quick to arrest that particular person. Also take the, how to call it, the knife. So we are asked, because no one reports, how credible is that? We told them, when our observers reported that, we are also, we had a layer of verification. We asked them to give us evidence. So they took photos and videos of the person that was arrested and the knife that was also taken by the police. So that is a credible evidence that we can use to put our report. So this is one of the things that we look at. But also, another key finding is that the IEC also made a progressive move to have what we call public scrutiny of nomination documents, right? Even though it's not in the law, but we realize the time that is allocated per individual with the voter's card is insufficient to be able to scrutinize pile of documents in 5 minutes. So we made a recommendation that this, even though it's progressive, this will increase the number of time per individual so that they're able to have sufficient time to get to know what type of document is being presented. Amongst others, also in terms of state resources being used, and if I say state resources, one might think that, okay, it might be the incumbent because the government officials are the ones coming for this nomination. But we realize that state officials, both national level officials, the ministers, and the local government authorities. And our local government authorities, you have those that are pro-government, those that are pro-opposition. So most of these, we've seen them using state resources during the nomination period. And then after the nomination, it was no campaign period, but they were campaigning anyways. So for all the political parties anyways. And what we have detected that, our observers detected these state, so let's say national level officials were using their vehicles.
But right now, I saw President Barrow using NPP.
Yeah, we reported
currently, he's not using state cars. That's what I've seen.
We reported that on the nomination report. That we have seen the president using a private vehicle NPP. However, ministers and local government authorities were seen using state-owned resources. So it's not the president, but these officials,
the people around him, right?
And that is that's a violation of Section 91 of the Elections Act, that state resources should not be used during political campaign. And resources as well. One might ask, perhaps it's just materials, but even officials are resources to the state. You cannot leave your office. One could say, well, they are political appointees, they can go out, but you cannot use. You cannot leave your office during working hours, right? You can take a leave or do what you should do. You cannot leave your office during working hours, take state resources during working hours, and then go for campaigning. And I'm not, I just want to make a disclaimer, it's not only the incumbent, but even the opposition parties.
It's like a general thing that happens with everyone.
I have also seen the app, not only presidential elections, but you also have the National Assembly, by-elections, and local government election, all displayed.
Yes, so you will see later on, in fact, the reason why I was telling you that we are not satisfied with the soup, because there were not much data, because each presidential election, we give the candidate. And this local government, how to call it, the local government elections, we are supposed to get all of their photos, getting their manifestos. We realize most of them don't even have a manifesto. So we have to wait on that. Now, after the election, we will see that we will change the setup a bit and then put the information, the results, where they were, the office that they were elected for, and the like. So you will get to have past election results all the way to 1996.
That's amazing. This is something that school-going children can use as a form of research, really. So I think the app is really a good one. So due to time constraints, I'm afraid we might have to let you go. But any final words in relation to the app or the election observation or just elections in general?
Well, we're going to have our election report, election observation report, and then what we are also planning to do on election day, we're going to give timely results on the openings of the polls, right? If polling stations opens on time. So we have a very sophisticated database that we are using, and the observers are sending the report, and time while they are sending it, the database is doing the aggregation, and then we've given out that report. But after the election day, we will give our observation report, and then I invite our biggest stakeholder, QTV, that always give us the platform to also witness that. And then my last, maybe perhaps not my last word, I want to live for the longest time, but I just wanted to say that Gambians are very peaceful. Politicians have been using us as a whip to whip their opponents. please let's just go and vote. It's a very exciting. I personally enjoy elections, and I believe you and others also enjoy election period. So let's just go vote, go back, and then have fun.
Exactly.
By the way, before he leaves, he's always holding people accountable, holding government accountable, holding private sector accountable. Who is funding? I will hold you because you cannot be holding people accountable, are there? And we leave. Who is funding this? Who's funding this app? Where's the money coming from?
Okay, if you go to the app, you look at About, you will see with support from National Endowment for Democracy and then the International Republican Institute. So every time where the money comes from to support something else, we always put it out there.
I'm requesting a budget sheet and whatever, what is it called, a reconciliation. I don't know the terms because he's always holding all of us accountable and I'll be the one to question their accounting and all of that. Thank you so much for coming on the program, Mark. We really appreciate it. You know, whenever we call you, you are here giving us updates. So hopefully we'll catch up during the elections as well, just to see.
And after the election.
And after the elections.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
But don't forget my budget sheet and reconciliation.
You might want to contact our auditor.
I'll give her a call. I'll give her a call. We will go for a short break, and when we come back, the program continues. Do stay tuned.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your Q-Money account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free! Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services Q-Money has to offer. With Q-Money, life is easy. Visit your nearest Q-Money agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. Q-Money, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q-Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q-Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q-Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q-Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. I am your host, Jaina Bosonko, with my amazing co-host, Ibrahim Balde. Yes. Tey nak ñu ngi bëgg a one stop water solution. Te ñoom ñoo tax programme bi di am de.
Te tay dang ko soxla.
Ba gis nga ko.
No, danga ko soxla.
Yeah, dama soxla woon water solution, soxla seen dispenser, soxla seen tank, soxla seen lu nekk.
Sukuta Jabang traffic light.
Sukuta Jabang highway, yeah? You just simply walk there and get everything that you need in relation to getting quality water. So moving on, we'll be talking about World Day of Remembrance, road traffic accident victims, and like I said, Gambia is currently ranked 4th in the global ranking when it comes to road traffic accidents. And we are joined by Ansumana Gassama and Bekai Kani, who are both road traffic safety officers at the Ministry of Transport. It is important that you're here to have a discussion with us in relation to road traffic accidents. On a daily basis, I say, may their souls rest in peace in relation to someone dying. Just yesterday, we heard of someone who died in relation to road traffic accidents. I am on the road and I'm saying Bismillah. When I go off, I say Alhamdulillah. That is the state of our roads currently. So thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. So yes, what is the importance of setting aside such a day to recognize road traffic victims? What does it bring?
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen, for that wonderful introduction. And that day, that is the World Day of Remembrance, was the first of its kind. It was commemorated, because we don't say celebrate, we don't celebrate it, we commemorate this day, because so many people lost their life in this traffic. Like you said, the day was first set aside in England, that is in 1993. It was first commemorated in England, and it was commemorated by a section of society, civil society and others, but after that, the UN made a resolution that was in 2005, 26th October 2005, that the day should be set aside. That is the third Sunday of every November should be set aside for road traffic victims to be commemorated, so that great people lost their lives. People lost their family members, their loved ones. In order to as a means of recognizing those road traffic victims, this day was set aside. So government, civil societies, and other organizations, where resolution was passed by UN for them to commemorate this day.
Okay.
Yes. That was how it comes about.
That is how the day came about. So how was it commemorated in Gambia, particularly?
Yeah, in the Gambia last year, like I said, was the first of its kind. That is 2020, and in the form of march past. We usually do a march past with the victims, because we invite victims from different areas or regions in the country to come and commemorate this day with us, because it is their day. So we are just there to coordinate, to mobilize resources and mobilize, victims as well, and to make sure that the day is being commemorated the way it's supposed to be. Like I said, march past was done, and an event was carried out at the Westfield Monument. The march past was done from Jimpex down to Westfield, and it was enhanced by the policeman who was with us. And at the monument, that's where the events happened, and I think the QTV was there. They were covering the events as well. And part of the commemoration of the day, we usually mobilize resources from donors, from other organizations, so that they can, we can mobilize these resources and give it to victims as a support for them, because we are supporting them. Because, like you said, most people lost their life. Perhaps they are the breadwinners of their family.
Sure.
They depend. The family is depending on that person, and when the person is gone, they find very hard to fend for themselves. So in that, we usually give a bag of rice. We give cash amount of money to these victims, so that they also feel that the ministry that is in charge of transport and safety is also supporting them in one way or the other. Yes.
What do you think is the problem? Because there is no week that goes by in the Gambia without hearing a particular road accident, severe accident, especially when going to Kiang,
the Trans-Gambia,
This is a very dangerous route.
Yeah, I think Mr. Gassama will have to answer this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Like you said, I am Ansumana Gassama, a road safety officer at the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure. Like my colleague has just highlighted, he has mentioned how this commemoration came about. That is, it started in 1993 in the UK, in the United Kingdom, and then later on in the year 2005, 26th October, the UN passed a resolution and then calls for governments, civil societies, and NGOs to commemorate this day. That is to support or perhaps to remember those who died as a result of road traffic crashes, and then support those who survived, and also act to avert this tragedy on our roads. So coming back to your question, you said what are the causes of these traffic crashes? You have so many factors, that leads to road traffic crashes. One could be a mechanical factor, which has to deal with the vehicles themselves, their roadworthiness. The other factor could be human factor, and then the environment.
Okay.
Yes. So on the side of the mechanical factors, that is perhaps the condition of the vehicle, the roadworthiness of the vehicle. Perhaps you have some vehicles that are not roadworthy, and they're plying on our roads. Perhaps their braking system is not intact, it's not correct, and the vision, the vision also, like the mirrors and other necessary things that will help them to see, are not intact. So that is just to mention a few about the mechanical factors that leads to road traffic crashes. But when it comes to the human factor, I think that is the major contributing factor in terms of road traffic crashes in the Gambia. The driver's behavior on our road, let me just say in general, the road user behavior on our roads is a problem, is one of the main factors, one of the main causes of road traffic crashes.
Attitude.
Yeah.
The attitude. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess if we have to like go through all the causes, which we already know, then we will spend the entire time here talking about the causes of road traffic accidents, which we already know. But I just want to know, what is the role of road safety officers? What is your role? I don't know. What do you guys do? When you say this individual is a road safety officer, what is your role?
One thing we are doing here, that is to raise awareness. That is lacking in this country.
Okay.
People don't know the number of people that are losing their life. Maybe you and I, using the social media, we can know. But there are a greater number of people sitting down there, they don't know what is happening on the road.
Okay.
They just heard, hearsay, that this has happened, this has happened. So this is why the road safety officers are doing, toiling and moiling, going to crisscrossing the media houses here, because we usually go to West Coast Region, West Coast Radio, and other media houses to raise awareness for people to know. And coming back to what I just want to throw some lights on the causes of this road traffic accident. One of the outstanding ones, like since you say we cannot mention all of them, it's overspeeding.
Okay.
Drivers do overspeed, and speeding usually have some effects, a larger effects on the nature of crash that happens, because like in our local language, ni borta bake, ni boita ekaboy bake. If you run faster, when anything happens, there are hazards all over the road. Our roads are not controlled. The road environment is not controlled. There are hazards everywhere. You can be running at a speed. A child just crossed the road. You can be running at a speed. There is that vehicle that is parked on your way. So there are hazards everywhere. But whenever it happens, when you're at a high speed, your chances of controlling that vehicle is very minimal.
Sure.
So that's why last year we conducted a survey, road user survey, that 41% of the people around the combo here, because it was centered around the Greater Banjul area, said these accidents are usually caused by overspeeding.
Overspeeding, right?
And that is the attitude of the drivers.
Of the drivers. But as road traffic officials, do you think you're doing enough? Do you think going to radio stations and just talking to people is enough, considering the status quo, Gambia being ranked 4th don't you think we need more of action in relation to ensuring our roads are safer than just going to radio stations and coming on televisions to talk? So what other thing, what tangible, what can you show me that I can touch in a way to know that this is what road traffic officers are doing from the Ministry of Transport to actually change the narrative?
Good. It is important you ask that question, because at the ministry, we are not doing this thing alone. We have stakeholders.
Okay.
And to be frank with you, like the unit has been established just 2 years ago, that this road safety unit at the ministry.
Okay.
And we are the one staff at that unit, and we are just 2 years old. And most of the time, we have that funding difficulties. To understand.
Okay.
And it's just recent, the department or the Directorate of Transport has been established. I think that will go a long way to solve some of these issues that we are talking about.
Okay.
But by the way, like we conducted, because anything you are doing, you have to base it on something. We conducted a survey, and the survey has shown that 41% has said it is overspeeding. That's why we are here to educate the drivers, to tell them. And last year, we conducted so many activities.
Okay.
Like one of them was to hold a workshop with the journalists in order to raise awareness. Because reporting road traffic, road crashes, it is very important. Like, first people have to know what is happening on the road. The drivers has to know what are the consequences of overspeeding.
Okay.
If they don't know that one, they will always overspeed, and in the end, it
Okay.
Well, I don't think drivers don't know the consequences
That's the
of
point.
overspeeding.
That's the point.
But it's a matter of whether you people will implement something that will make sure they don't overspeed.
Let's pretend drivers already know what
overspeeding
will bring about.
Understand?
Because and let's be honest here. At some point, we shouldn't be wasting resources sensitizing drivers about what overspeeding might bring. At the end of the day, they know.
They will still overspeed.
Bo dooru rek, so dooru rek du change. Ndax du so lan lañ mëna def in a way ne they will stop. That's where we are as a country, considering how serious road traffic accidents are.
You know, if I may interject here.
Okay.
To avert some of those situations on our roads shouldn't be the responsibility of the road safety officers or the ministry alone.
Sure.
This is why, at the level of the ministry, we are approaching road safety multi-sectoral approach. It's not only the ministry that is dealing with these road safety issues or menace on our roads, but we have the transport union. They are key. We have National Roads Authority. They're part of this working group. We have Minister of Basic and Secondary Education. We have Minister of Justice. We have the Interior, Minister of Interior. So all these and others, which I cannot name all, is all geared towards achieving safety and security on our roads. But it has to be complementary. We have to complement each other. Not only us as the institutions, but also even people living in our house, in our homes, we all have a responsibility. Because if you see some pedestrians, the way they use road is very embarrassing. You know, it's so disheartening. You see some of them, these road signs they put on the roads, they don't respect them. The likes of the zebra crossing. People instead to go to the zebra crossing and then cross there, but you want to cross wherever you wish. So we have an attitudinal problem in this country.
But you talked about coordination, but at the end of the day, somebody has to push.
Exactly. This is why the ministry. This is why the ministry.
As the main, like you said, the ministry. You are supposed to put that push. And others will follow, and then the coordination will happen.
Perhaps you are not following most of our activities.
I am following. I am following the activities.
We're doing not only sensitization, but we do periodic, surveys or monitoring on our roads.
Those monitoring.
Because I can remember we've once visited the Turntable Tangier Highway or the Tangier Brufut Highway because there were issues of crashes, road traffic crashes there. So we went there together with NRA and the Transport Union to see how best we can, remedy that situation. Okay. And then, a recommendation was made to NRA. And we were told that they're working on it.
Working on it. Anyway, due to time constraints, we just have to leave now because there's not enough time.
Maybe
but
we'll
just
have,
we'll have another one.
Another
but
time.
just to say, enough is not like... more should be done. Because we are talking about people's lives, people dying.
We just don't want... We have some limits.
I know you have limits. No, I get that.
The enforcement part of it
is
with the public.
It's with them.
We have some limits.
But you can push.
That's why they
you can push.
Committee,
yes, you can push.
That committee.
Yes.
That we work together to make sure that our roads are safe.
Exactly. Anyway, due to time constraints, we might have to leave. But let's just remember that this has to do with people's lives, people's dying. It's disheartening. It's very devastating to see young people dying just because you want to drive a car. Just because you have a car and you want to drive, just because you want to cross, something that is a human right at the end of the day. So it's really hard. But anyway, we're just trying to push you guys. But, congratulations and keep doing what you do. Just, as road traffic officers, push for us to ensure that we are comfortable. That's all we need. So we'll go for a short break. And when we come back, we'll head right on to some entertainment after a serious conversation. Let's just, lighten it a little bit. We'll be right back.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
You've got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Live non-stop coverage. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your Q Money account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services Q Money has to offer. With Q Money, life is easy. Visit your nearest Q Money agent to cash in or call customer.
QTV this morning. I think they just want to show the click bumper.
Oh, yeah.
They love the click bumper.
They love it,
and,
man.
You know, viewers are saying they love the click bumper.
Click is dope, man.
Welcome.
It's a wonderful morning, man. And I'm Skengman Sweezy, and it's click. It's Monday morning, man. I'm glad seeing you. You're looking good, to be honest, man. So I have a guest with me in the studio today, one of the finest dancehall artists in the Gambia, and he's not easy. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yes, man. Them say, blessed is the man that walk and live, not in the castle of the ungodly. Now stand in the part of sinners, you know. There do I walk to the valley of the shadow of death, as I fear no evil on my life and my salvation. It's indeed a privilege, a magnitude. How can I say again?
A gratitude.
A gratitude in it. Yeah, man. To be in your show, yeah, respect and manners king and the whole team, QTV, you don't know, it's your boy, Not Easy. Sunjata, a.k.a. Not Easy.
For real, man. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk about your upcoming album, project, and what you've been up to, man. But first of all, tell us who is Not Easy, bro.
It's Sunjata.
Yeah.
Sunjata Strictly, a.k.a. Not Easy. Sunjata was a Manding warrior, the founder of Manding Empire.
Yeah.
He wasn't born noble, he thieved the crown. And me resemble the man. Me local, but me talawa. Yeah, I came to conquer.
Yeah.
Man too hungry. Boy, conquer le bena boy. Abla fa man ko le man ko le moy boy. Conquer le bena boy. Ko nyaje basa ko mo do na. Yeah, so I came to conquer.
So now long Congo le bela. No cap on that. So I can tell because you've been grinding way back from the industry.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about your project that you're working on, the album Truth.
Yeah.
What should people expect from the album, man? And how many tracks are from the album?
Yeah, man, the album, from the title itself, says everything. It's called The Truth. We live and die by the truth, which shall always prevail. You understand? So this album, I came a long way, facing a lot of obstacles, setbacks and everything. But God signed my time. This is my time. That's why I said the truth. When you listen to the tracks,
so how many songs? What about album work on sign then?
8 consecutive tracks.
Okay, and any international collabs or future collabs as well?
The Truth album is all about Not Easy, to showcase, embrace my talent first. Yeah. Than to do a collaboration.
So it's strictly Not Easy?
It's strictly Not Easy.
Well, I'm proud of you, bro. I've never seen that. This is the first time I'm seeing somebody working on an album just alone, man.
Yeah.
And secondly as well, me along you from Brikama, and something I can say, the Brikama industry is not booming like it used to be. Because if ST is not dropping songs, people are not working. If Stigibi is not organizing shows, people are not working. What is your take on that?
Honestly, I don't know about nobody. I'm all about myself. I came here to conquer, brand my style in my own way. I am my own trendsetter. You understand? That's why I say the Truth album. Everything will make sense at Q City, December 11. But before then, the album is going to be available on all the digital platforms. But right now, we release it for free. Proper production from JLI Studio. You understand? Everything standard, but we release it free. Because since I am signing SM Globally Show Tech Limited, they are the one embarking this show. We need nothing. Just my talent to be showcased there. And the supporting artists to give the show a push.
Now, this is what I wanted to, I keep asking people all the time, especially people from the dancehall segment area when it comes to music in the Gambia. What is your take on the Gambian dancehall music?
My take is to conquer.
Like what I mean,
listen, to conquer, take the music to a higher level. You understand? Because I've seen many things, like what you said. I've been hearing many things about Gambia music, Brikama music. That's why I try to make my thing special. My musical career is special. My songs, when you listen to them, my lyrical contagiousness is compact. You understand? I'm not gonna say too much because maybe you might think I'm bragging. But,
no, we all know you, bro.
Yeah, but the songs will tell. We will tell.
The songs.
Do you have a proof? I mean,
let's play us a song. The songs will tell.
Because it's not my first time to hear his name. Not Easy.
Let's go for a quick music break, and when we're back, we'll continue the interview. By Not Easy, called Tapalapa.
style is the one you're unique. Tell them it a classic. Acidic, one music. Sunjata. Alright then. Dopey maker. Road taker. Me no use broomstick. Me no Harry Potter. Manaraga. Me no sing daga. Two come on like the best of all of us. I saw we bad so. How we mad so. Kill a dirty boy. We just a one go. We nah ball. I say we hard so. How we nah so. Kill a dirty boy with just a one go. Just a one go. Me check. Anybody's got a big gun set. Tell them straight man, real man. Care them dark for it, bad man. I want somebody most yes man. Bang bang bang. Make them know. And them sing some. This can do. Don't feel no manner. Dopey maker. Road taker. Me no use broomstick. Me no Harry Potter. Manaraga. Me no sing daga. Two come on like the best of all of us. I saw we bad so. How we mad so. Kill a dirty boy with just a one go. We nah ball. I say we hard so.
Manaraga, me no sing daga. That's it, man. Trust it, man. But this song is fire, bro. Jennifer, you wanna ask Sunjata a question?
Before we move, he talked about the fact that his fourth album is free. People can just get it. Am I right? And just listen to it. I can remember one time I had a conversation with Fatah. He's a Senegalese artist. And I told him, hey, I've not been seeing your music. He said, no, I've decided that people have to pay for my music. You know? So what do you think in relation to that? Don't you think the music, it's Gambian music, it's too out there? People do not have to actually go and invest something to get it, whereby, okay, you're going to come at first and just show something. People will fall in love with you and then they will get to buy stuff. So you can also make something. Even if this one is already out, but for future purposes, do you think Gambian music can reach that stage whereby people have to actually buy these things to be able to listen to you? Because that comes with value. You know, it comes with quality.
You're right. But probably
yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. I'm answer to that. It's a very good question indeed. Like why I said it's for free. It's going to be available in all digital platforms, where in these streaming places. But I make it available for my fans them to engage to my songs. You understand? Because this is the first time a reggae dancehall artist initiating a show, like a big showcase like this. You understand? I want to let the people know my capability, my potential. You understand? That's why I release it for my fans. True fans, I mean. For free. It's not like you're gonna get it like that. No. I make it available for my fans them to engage to it. You understand? But it's available on all digital platforms because these songs, yes, I invested a lot, and the visuals also. It's a whole lot of money. Plus the other activities. But the reason why I make it free, I'm not only doing it for money. I'm doing it for money here because I cannot afford to see my mama hungry. You understand? But the reason why is to sell my music more because if you see it's right now that I'm breaking through the music industry more.
It's not only the first dancehall artist doing it, but it's the first album so far.
No, I understand all of that, but Skeng, don't you think at some point, really, people have to pay for these things? I can remember Dip had his album on beats, whereby you have to actually go and buy it, and when you have it, then you listen to it.
The issue with Gambian artists is, not only the artists, the Gambian population is, people don't like buying Gambian songs.
That's the
online.
problem.
And don't blame them because they're not used to it. We should force them to do it. So that other people can earn from it as well. They pay their managers, they pay
there the conversation comes into place. I think those responsible should, sit and talk about this.
It's something they should talk about. And in the sense, you don't only release albums and put it on YouTube. Put it on other social media platform where people can pay for it online and listen to it. But I believe it's time, if we force our government people to start doing that, people will do it. We have access to key money, you have access to banks and other stuff. You can do all that
I think buying these songs will not cost you a lot.
Exactly.
It's a matter of the fans buying it, to put that money together, to help the artists.
Buba, I'm afraid due to time constraints, you can just wrap up with
on the 11th of December and then your final words.
Okay, like, to be honest, your idea, let me just, make it simple for you. I am signing a label called SM Globally Show Limited. You understand? Like, this show, we are not seeking out for, although, no one is an island, no one stands alone, but we are not seeking out for some sponsors or whatsoever thing, The money is not the problem right now. but for not easy craft to be out there. You understand?
It's the most important thing.
That's why we do it like this. On all streaming platforms, like if you have access to streaming, you can stream. But
yeah, I'm afraid time is up. That's all we have.
5 bars, we go. 5 bars, we go.
That's all.
Okay, you want me?
Yeah,
we have seconds to go.
Music buka mobe dondino, dol podindi, dol tenkundi, munu tenkunda wole kela moy, munu bapodi kama diata wole, kwenta longin danzalla lela, manika swago ka ado fata.
From my end, I'm saying bye.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ibrahim. That is all we have time for. Till we come your way tomorrow with another exciting program. Bye for now.
bokk ci dundu doomu aadam te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni du indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérugu yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gak granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wérgu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu